Hi everybody, it's Lynette Barbieri and I am here today to talk to you about my weekly financial tips, but I have a surprise. I have a special guest with me here today. We are talking with Dee Sands, and Dee is a financial professional for over 18 years, right Dee?
Yes.
Over 18 years. We work together. We've also been friends for over 18 years, and she is a specialist in retirement and all things finance for families. So Dee, I wanted to talk to you today because we've both been around for a while. I'm here over 23 years in the industry. And when I came in the industry over 23 years ago, I was a young woman in finance. Not that I'm not a young woman now in finance, but I was a young woman in finance, and it was a very male-dominated industry. And 18 years ago, it was the same for you,
Yes,
right?
it was.
So what I used to my advantage was my niche, which was being a woman. And what I found over the years was that women typically would be the person that would say, my husband takes care of that, my spouse takes care of that, my boyfriend handles that, my parents handle that, and they would bury their heads in the sand. So I started a lot of women in finance, women in money workshops and educational seminars, and I really focused on, not that I didn't help families, but I really focused on educating women over the years. So my question to you is, you're a woman in finance, you're also a black woman in finance. We all have our market, like I just said. So with everything happening in the world, with COVID, with being a woman, being a black woman, being in finance, what do you see right now as the biggest challenge in your market that you're facing?
Well, the biggest challenge right now that I see in my market, as far as even in some black communities, is the lack of education in finance.
Okay.
So that's what actually made me, it gave me the desire to want to teach finance, especially in my community, to some blacks that are undereducated in finance. So my crusade was that I wanted to educate as many black families as I could.
Okay.
And throughout my 18 years, I have seen that it has helped because I do financial wellness workshops at churches.
I know you've done schools, hospitals,
yes,
different
like
corporations.
That. Yes, definitely. And then throughout my family also, because us living as a black family, I have 2 children, they're grown up, and I have 3 grandchildren. So by me educating them in finances, it also gave them the awareness to teach their children as well. So once
You're changing the whole paradigm of your family. I love that.
Yes, definitely. So then that, because in the black communities and some, we have totally different priorities.
Why do you think that is? Do you know why that is?
Well, a lot of it has to be the way that we were brought up.
Okay.
Because we tend to do what our previous family members have done, and then
Exactly. We all copy
do the same
from childhood
thing.
or habitual.
Yes,
Yep.
definitely. That's just like when normal things, even as far as, I know we're talking about finances, but as far as health, they may say, okay, diabetes runs in your family. But there's a reason for the diabetes being there.
Right.
It could be you're not taking care of your health, you're not eating right, and things like that. And that's the same as with finances. Okay, if you're not taught finances, then as your family continues, they're not going to know any different either. So that's what made me wanted to teach more about it, because I saw that there's a need for it in the black communities.
So you're not seeing finance taught the way it should be in schools in the black communities, and then you're not seeing them lead by example in the home because of their lack of education.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
So have you seen a change in the schools at all with you going there to educate, or do you see it more as you go through your community, through the church, through the things like that instead?
Well, I've seen a change in both, because it seems like as soon as if I'm doing it in the community, in the church, those very people that I'm teaching, they have children that are going to schools. They have children that are going to churches, so they're able to share that knowledge as well that they're learning from me. So it does make a difference on the education on as far as finances and the different things that people are doing throughout their lives.
So what do you think the biggest mistake is in your community with finance? Other than not making the best financial decisions, what do you think is the most catastrophic decision that you see them make in your community?
As far as that, I could say as far as saving money.
Okay.
Life insurance is one main thing. And some black communities, life insurance is not a priority to them. A material thing would be more of a priority to them versus buying life insurance or putting money away for a burial or something like that. Because in some black communities, you will see that a member may pass away and you will see someone there, they have a GoFundMe page versus them having life insurance where they may believe that it was more expensive, yet and still they would buy something material like a $200 pair of sneakers.
So more important to impress than to worry about the life insurance part because they feel GoFundMe or the church or other people will take care of them. Again, lack of education makes you make the wrong choices.
Correct.
Okay.
So
I have talked to other black women and men in our organization and also outside in other companies in finance, and that is one of the biggest things that they say, that lack of knowledge about life insurance and what happens if somebody wasn't to bring home the paycheck the next day, all the repercussions of that, they're really not even aware of. And that is a big thing in the community.
yes, it definitely is. So that's why I'm doing as much knowledge on that to let them know that it's not as expensive as they believe that it is, even if you just get enough just for a burial expensive.
Right.
So you can still, have those luxury things too, and then also have those things that's a priority and that's a must-have.
Right.
Because those are some things where you're not going to have $25,000 right then to be able to pay for a funeral.
Well, that's the thing. People don't understand. In any community, people don't understand that if they don't have that money the next day, those bills just don't get paid. If $6,000 comes in and $3,000 comes in the next month, $3,000 worth of bills don't disappear. So I'm really proud. I know that you go to a lot of groups, a lot of organizations. I know you work with young girls. I know that you really try to educate within your community as well as everything that you do within the company that you work for. So I'm really proud of that. And with everything happening in our country right now, racism, craziness, a pandemic, what else could possibly happen? It's just crazy. And I know that, your passion, my passion, we are trying to bring some normalcy to people and let them know that things are always going to go on and always happen around you. But you have to be grounded when it comes to your finances, because if your life is a whole whirlwind and something happens and you don't have that money coming in, you think it's going to get better, it's going to get worse.
Exactly.
So I think we have to have more of these conversations with other people in finance to figure out amongst ourselves how we could go out and help different communities and really start to get out there and make a difference.
Yes, most definitely.
So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for
I hope you got
having me.
some good financial tips out of that. And Dee, where could they find you?
I'm in the Piscataway area, but if anyone needs to actually contact me, they can do it via email at Sands, like sand on the beach with an S, 1472 @optimum.net, or via cell 732-754-8793.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lynette.
Talk to you next week, everybody.